Hello again, this is News Desk. Now, Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry, also Member of Parliament for Cape Coast South, Kweku Ricketts-Hagan, says government is increasing investment in the energy sector to help address the challenges faced by the sector. Now, his comments come after some investors or reports suggest that investors are moving out of the country because of the load shedding here in Ghana. Kweku Ricketts-Hagan tells Joy News persons put in charge of the power sector are more than capable to handle the situation. Take a listen.
I think we recognize, I mean, obviously His Excellency the President recognizes that we cannot be a manufacturing-based economy or industrialize a nation if we don't really have sufficient energy and it's not produced cheaply. We have some challenges, with our energy at the moment, and it's as a result of lack of investment in that area for at least the last 50 years. We have not invested in the energy area as much as we should have. We've got a growing population. We're almost about 27 million now. We've become a lower middle income economy, but we haven't actually got a middle class infrastructure that is catching us, with our middle class and with our population. And I think we really need to invest, in the energy sector, and that is why His Excellency, the President said recently that he wants to solve the energy problem once and for all. We don't want to be an economy where we have a schedule on when you will get power or when you will not get it. Power should be there 24 hours. We cannot become a manufacturing economy. We cannot industrialize as a nation without energy, period. So it should not be, energy today, we don't have it tomorrow. We should make sure that we invest in that area. We should drive out the inefficiencies that we have in the power sector, be it ECG, be it any other company that is related to, producing or distributing or generating energy for us.
So, to the specifics of how government is helping industries, particularly in this specifics.
Well, at the moment, where we are now, we don't have sufficient, energy to go around. So we need to do this load shedding. So I think there is a system in place for us to be able to get the energy that we have distributed, equitably and to the places as and when. But that is not where we want to be in the end. At the moment, we have finished with our own gas, plant, and that means that we will no longer be importing or bringing in crude at the $500 million tag that we have at the moment, and that we'll be able to use our own gas to be able to power our thermals to give us energy. That means that the cost of production will obviously come down. As I said, it's not just having sufficient energy for everyone. If we're going to be a manufacturing and industrialized economy, then energy should not only be available, but it should also be priced reasonably.
So does that in any way suggest that we're going to see a reduction in utility tariffs, particularly power?
Well, not yet. First of all, we have to fix the problem. First of all, we have to fix the problem in a sense that we have to make sure that the doomsaw becomes a thing of the past. That's first. Secondly, we need to continue to invest. We shouldn't just invest up to a point and stop and say, okay, now doomsaw is over. So because the population will continue to grow. 50 years ago when we were less than 10 million, the amount of energy that we had at that time was sufficient. But what we did not do was to invest so that we will be able to catch up with the population growth, with industrial growth and other things. And that is why we are here today. There are also a lot of inefficiencies, and I want to emphasize on that. A lot of inefficiencies in the generation, the distribution, and all that, that we have to do to be able to get the power, from its source.
ECG, GridCo, Valco.
Well, I blame everyone along that value chain, and we need to fix that problem. We should put our heads together, and it should not be a blame game, really. We should put our heads together to make sure that we fix that problem. Nobody is going to come from anywhere to fix the problems that we have in this country. It's not going to be the IMF, it's not going to be the World Bank, it's not going to be developing partners. It is going to be Ghanaians fixing our own problem. And that's what we need to focus on.
So the government seems to be doing a lot about this particular one. Now, the only challenge here is that even when we are given a timetable, we are told industry is still crying, still suffering, because We are told not too long ago, ECG has had to shed about 600 megawatts, up from 400 megawatts. We were told the situation is actually improving, but it seems to be the case is deteriorating, and to a point where the ECG is not even able to stick to the timetable at times. And obviously, it's a huge burden on industry. So what more can be done other than just this?
It is, and I do agree with people who manufacture and people who do all sorts of things to make our lives easier. I mean, and most of the time, when we are thinking about these things, we should put ourselves in the shoes of these people. I mean, if you have a factory and you don't have energy to basically produce the things, how do you keep your workers? How do you pay the bills? And it's not that you are not getting electricity, you are not paying electricity bills, you are still paying the bills. So we have to fix that problem. We can no longer continue to give excuses as to why we don't have sufficient energy. We need to fold our sleeves, buckle down, and fix this problem. And that is government, all the agencies involved, the private sector. We also need to use energy, wisely. So all of us have to come together. As I said, nobody will come from anywhere to fix this problem. Let's stop giving excuses. Let's stop the blame game and buckle down and fix the problem, as His Excellency the President said, once and for all, so that the doomsday will become a thing of the past. You go to a lot of countries that we want to emulate or we want to, look like in the future. And one of the basic things that nobody think about is energy. It is there every day, 24 hours, as and when you need it, not as and when it can be given to you. So the people who are responsible, and that includes government, we should fix this problem once and for all. It is no longer acceptable. It is inexcusable. We need to fix that problem. If we are not getting the right investment, we need to put the investment in. We need to focus in that area. And I think His Excellency the President has done the right thing by splitting the energy and the power so that we can have focus to fix this problem. We cannot continue to give excuses about the energy situation. It is simply unacceptable. So the president is serious about this, want to fix the problem. So I pray and hope that the new power minister who has come will work towards. It's not going to be a one-day thing. At the moment, the shedding will go on, and we have to get a right timetable.
The situation is actually getting worse. That's the problem.
Well,
some have had to stay in darkness for 2 days, 3 days continuously.
Some of these things and lack of investment and what we haven't done, the situation obviously gets worse before it gets better. But in the end, I know it will get better in a sense that the president is now zooming in on the power sector. And he finds the situation unacceptable. We cannot sit down, appoint people to be chief executive responsible for some of these things, and then the place basically continues to be run down with a lot of excuses. Every time people are blaming government. Yes, government has a role to play, and government should take part of the responsibility. But the responsibility does not 100% lie on government. It does lie on other people who along the chain have responsibility to make sure that we have power in this country. And we must emphasize on making sure that people do their jobs. The lack of investment, we address it. Where government needs to put in money and resources, we have got this MCC, that we are going to be putting in the ECG area or in the power sector. We need to do it, and we need to do it now. There's no point in us sitting down and, talking about this issue every day on radio stations and television stations. Let's buckle down and fix this problem once and for all.
Should have certain people placed at vantage positions to actually help address this problem seem to have a lackluster attitude towards fixing this particular issue. Is that how it appears to you?
Well, I hope not. I hope not, because this is a serious problem. I mean, it's not just you going home and not getting electricity to watch your TV or listen to your radio. But actually, pretty much everything we do in this country, it needs some one form of energy or not. We are talking about value addition. You cannot add value to anything without power. You simply cannot. So the idea of us becoming a manufacturing-based economy, idea of us getting our industrialists and our manufacturers producing things for us here home so that we don't have to import them, the idea of you and I wearing made in Ghana, and all these things we are talking about cannot happen if we are not able to build a sustainable energy priced reasonably for our people in industry, in domestically, and pretty much all walks of life.